Hello everybody, and welcome back to Evolving Vibes, the channel that's dedicated to seeing the magical aspects of life as well as spiritual growth, evolving our vibes, if you will. If this means something to you and it resonates, you know what to do. Be sure to subscribe and join our community, and let's go on this journey together. Now for today, I wanted to do a redo of my complete tour of my personal Grimoire. And the reason being is I've done a lot more videos since that first video, which was like 3 or 4 months ago. And I really think I can shorten it down, make it a little bit more user-friendly to actually see the pages and see the Grimoire. So let's give it a shot. Towards the end of the video, if you stick around, I'll be going over some tips and tricks for the Grimoire, some different concepts to consider and keep in mind with your Grimoire, and different ways of making your Grimoire your best friend. So I do hope you stick around for the whole video, and again, if it resonates, run with it. If it's something that doesn't resonate oh so well, leave it behind, right? See you on the other side. Okay, here we are at my altar with my Grimoire. And so the first thing I want to start off with is to show you this right here. This is Theban script, or Theban script, depending upon how you pronounce it. And basically it's a protective spell that I put on my book, so that it's safe and protected if I'm not around. Now I'm just going to use this wonderful amethyst in a minute to prop up my book so we can see it, but I do want to bring this up. As I said in my previous video, my sister bought me this book as a gift. It's wonderful. It's an Italian leather. It's really soft. It's really amazing to feel and touch. But it didn't really have any page keepers. So what I did was actually went through the spine and created a page keeping system. So these stones are holding this string through the spine, and these other strings are attached through and are actually keeping the pages. And at the very bottom, as you can see, ornaments and charms. Each one means something very specific to me, and obviously each one carries over its own special magic for this book. And each one itself is something that I made, created, and put together. And this one right here is my pendulum, but we'll get back to that in just a little bit. So let's put the book down now so that we can get a look-see on the inside, right? And as we roll over these pages, first thing you're going to notice is I put this envelope in here with some stained paper. As the weather warms up in New England, which I thought might be this weekend since it's the holiday weekend, but it's only 46 and raining right now. But when it does warm up, I'll be putting a video together on how to parchment your paper, how to stain it, and how to dry it so it turns to parchment. So these are actually parchment papers that I created for very specific magical purposes. I've used herbs as well as coffee, and they go in here, and I utilize those for any type of spell work. This is a larger one, so a lot of times this more goes in as a petition. You'll see also in my book that I do utilize these inserts throughout the book to add information to my book. So this is a protective sigil that I utilize quite frequently, and this is just a little bit of a spell going on for that. As we turn the page over, we have the dedication of the book, and this again is something that I found in the calendar. It really resonated with me, so I actually placed it in my book. I do utilize it for meditation at times, and this right here is that protective sigil once again. And this is calling of the spirits or the gods. And this right here is the 13 goals of a witch. Now, I'm not Wiccan by any means. However, I did find that these 13 goals are things that we actually should be doing every day spiritually for ourselves anyway. So I adapted them into my book. What I like to do is different quotes, different things that I find that really lift me up emotionally or spiritually, I tend to put in a book. And this book serves a lot of purposes for me, but this book also serves the purpose of when I'm feeling down or I'm feeling less than enchanted, this actually helps, and I'll point them out throughout the book. Right here, this is the Witch's Alphabet, or the Theban script, depending on how you want to say it. I utilize this quite frequently when I'm doing some spell work. As we turn the page, we start getting into the witch's runes. And some of these you recognize, maybe some of them you don't, but they're really interesting to me, and I have used them in various spells again. And we have the runic alphabet, and I do utilize that, of course, too, and runic magic. And as we go further, again, I do a lot with tarot, so this certainly is tarot magic that can be done. And again, some inspirational quotes and some spiritual quotes. And I like doing them in different colors because each color stands out to me. And if I'm going through something, these colors help cheer me up, right? As we go a little further, you'll find that I have cutout clips from a lot of different things. This is from one of the witches' calendars. It was really, really cool, and I loved it. And obviously, this is the tower type moment. And I have that there as a reminder that no matter what happens in life, you're always going to be okay, because the universe has a tendency of clearing the land for new growth. And that does happen, but we just got to understand that no matter what, we'll always just be okay. And this book reminds me of that, as well as do these quotes. And on this is, again, tarot rituals and how to do some tarot magic, different types of spells, different types of utilization of the cards. And again, some more spiritual and some more quotes just to lift you on up, right? And now we have some herbs. And this is a rather long chapter, so I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing. But each one of these pages has an herb as well as what it might be utilized for. And this is more or less from the magical standpoint versus the homeopathic standpoint. So when you see it, you'll see it about money, legal, protection, that sort of thing, versus for colds, flu, and sniffles. And this goes on for quite a bit, so I am not going to bore you with that, but what I will do is show you one of the things I do with those pages from up front. So we have herbs and magic, and this right here is just a list of different herbs that you can utilize for smoking. Now, I don't smoke herbs frequently, very rarely actually, because I'm not a big fan of it, but I have done mugwort when I want to get myself into a more meditative state. And I don't suggest doing it very often, nor do I suggest doing it without making sure you have no health issues that could be compromised by doing such a thing. Understand, knowledge is power, and knowledge is also safety. And this is just another page of herbs for spells, and along with that, this is my page keeper for it. A lot of times for spells and such, I'll have the key because it's opening up knowledge and it's opening up potentials in the universe and unlocking doors for me as the bookmark for spells. Now, as we turn the page, we have some more, and again, some more cutouts, and it's fun to make the book your own in your own specific way. Now, again, this is just one of the inserts I added on, and again, a list of herbs for magical purposes. Now, on this right here is the Celtic tree calendar. I'm not a Celtic practitioner, so to speak. I do hold Bridget very near and dear to me, but I also hold Hecate near and dear to me. So I do follow and I do utilize the Celtic tree calendar, but I also utilize other types of information and processes from different other types of styles of magic as well. So the Celtic tree calendar, we list all of the trees, as you can see, as well as some of the information regarding into the wheel of the year, which we all follow as pagans, right, or as practicing witches. So this actually goes into the wheel of the year, the date of it, the different things that you can do to celebrate it, and what it's actually celebrating, right? And so I utilize this throughout the year for my rituals and as reminders. And again, I've got a page insert, which is this coin right here that I utilize because that coin actually is very sentimental to me. So that's why it's attached to there. And again, it goes through the wheels of the year, and then we get into kind of a corny thing, but hey, what the heck, sometimes I'm corny. And it's basically the tools of the craft. And I wanted to draw them myself, and as you can see, I'm no artist. But the whole premise of my life and the whole premise of this book is perfectly imperfect. You don't have to worry about mistakes. You don't have to worry about it not being exactly the way you see it in some of these witchy shows. The whole bottom line is you want to make it your own with your own energy. So let it be an individual. Let it be perfectly imperfect. And again, that's what all of this is all about. That sword actually came out pretty good, not going to lie, compared to how bad I actually draw. And now we get into colors and how to use color correspondences. Now, I will preface this with, I'm one to say, never hold back doing your magic because of a specific color not being available to you. It's all about intent. Colors help sometimes from our aesthetic standpoint, but certainly let it be about your intentions, not about specific colors. And as we go on, we have the magical days of the week and what we can do on each day, as well as the magical times of the day. So it's helpful, and again, you can utilize it, but you don't need to make it binding to you where you can't do any spell unless it's on a Thursday, or you can't do this type of spell unless it's on a Friday. Let it be you. If you need to do it that day, do it that day. Now, this is just another set of glyphs that I added to this page after I put this page together, which is all about moon magic. And this is just glyphs that I actually use on candles, and I'll actually use them in spells as well. And again, some sigils. I do have a lot of sigils, and I do utilize them when I'm putting things together, spells, whatever it might be. So that's basically my sigils page. And the witch's runes. And different talisman that you can actually create and make for yourself or for specific spell work. I did put that in there. Now we're getting into tarot. Now, I'm a professional tarot reader. That's one of the things I do for making a living. So that being said, I wanted to have a whole section on tarot in here. These are just different creative things that you can do with tarot, as well as different shortcuts you can take when you're trying to figure something out in your day utilizing the tarot. And these are basically all of the tarot cards in order, with some highlights from keys, thoughts, the shadow work that you can do with it, and correspondences. And I do a lot of shadow work. I suggest everyone do shadow work. So this is why I've added it in here, and it's been huge helpful for me. Now, as we go further into this, again, all of the suits are represented. This is actually all a tarot deck. And here are different spreads that you can utilize and that I utilize. I like putting them down so that they're always readily available to refresh my memory if I'm getting stuck and I can't remember what type of spread I want to do for a very specific task. And again, back to the tarot, and the colors correspond with the cards itself. Like this is cups, so it's water, henceforth it's blue. And again, some more tarot spreads. I do have quite a lot of tarot spreads that I utilize. Now for the next part, universal laws. So if you've not read the Kybalion yet, it's definitely a great book to read. And you can actually see one of my videos on the Kybalion in my list, and it's probably posting right now, right on this video for you to click over to, so you can watch it after you finish this video. One video at a time, folks. One video at a time. So these are the laws of the universe, universal laws, the 7 Hermetic principles. Again, I live by this. It's really helped my magic out. It's helped my life out. This next portion of my book is dedicated to astrology. So these are the astrological keys and the different symbols for each one. So the astrological keys, the houses and their correspondences and what it means. And then we actually get into practice of magic and some spell work. So to start off with, I actually like this. Back in the day, you heard of eye of newt, heart of whatever, beak of nose of blah, blah, blah. But what a lot of people don't realize with that is plant pots. So eye is a blossom or a seed. Heart would be a bud or a seed of cat. And it goes further and further. So I really found that to be cool. So I incorporated that into my book. This is all about recipes. This is my 4 Thieves vinegar recipe, which I will be doing in the next couple of months, and my Florida water recipe, which I actually have to make more of too, so that may be a video. And this is my essential oils recipes for de-stressing, for window cleansing, that sort of thing. Anti-bad vibe spray that I create, cleansing spray that I create, as well as kitchen witchery. Some more recipes and mixes. Again, more oil blends. I do have a lot of oil blends, as you can probably see. And when I finish off with the blends, I actually have a lot of different oil recipes. But no grimoire would be complete without making your own ink, right? So this is dragon's blood ink, bat's blood ink, dove's blood ink. Now, as a reminder, in a simple statement of fact, none of this is utilizing any blood. If any blood was going to go into this ink, it'd be 1 or 2 drops and it would be my own. But when they say dragon's blood ink or bat's blood ink, it's not actually blood. Cold and flu remedies and recipes. Roll-ons for empaths, which I actually do use, especially when I'm doing the psychic fairs. Black salt and magic waters. And so these are all different areas that you would actually get water from, right? And we're talking about snow, we're talking about storm, river, that sort of thing. So each one of these waters you collect, this is what you can utilize. Like going into the chakras and different ideas and ways of unblocking chakras. And again, more recipes and more mixes. And I'm going to try to do a bunch of the different types of recipes for us so that I can make some videos down for them for you. So these are the 12 laws of karma, laws of creation, growth, that sort of thing. I love that. This is all about breaking down astrology again, and again switching back over to recipes and mixes for spell jars for love, for PTSD relief, for a tranquil home. And I'm going to do a spell bottle because I utilize these mixes for that spell bottle. So I'll demonstrate a couple for you. And again, now, because I'm a big tea drinker and I love making my own tea, I have the base teas and what their benefits are. But then along with that, I have the different type of mixes for teas. And along with that, I do have the mixes for different charms as well. Tree law, I do enjoy tree law, and I love trees and the forest, of course, so I do have that incorporated in my book. And I just love this owl, so he made it in my book as well. And this stick came from the water side of a very special place early September. And it was down the Cape, and so that came from the ocean side area. And I just love it because it brings me back there. Now, for crystal magic, I was not going to write down every one thing about crystals. If you look in the background, you can almost see that I started to. And I said, stop. What the hell are you doing? So I took a printout of all the crystals and the different things they can do and their properties, and I placed it in a book. As you can see, it's rather lengthy. And I'm glad I did that and not handwrite it, because that would have taken forever. So obviously I would turn the book sideways in order to read and utilize them. And that's just one of the things you have to understand about your book. It's multi-dimensional. You don't have to leave it just this way. You can turn it upside down, all the way around, have pages unfolding, popping up at you. It's yours. Make it magical. This phoenix I absolutely fell in love with, so he made it in a book, and someday that's probably going to land being a tattoo for myself. Now, as we go a little bit further, we do have, again, some different types of charms, some different types of sigils that you can create. And again, we go back and we talk about the rituals of the calendar the witch's calendar. So this is the rituals for you. This would be the ritual that I do for Imbolc or Bridget's Day. This is a ritual that I do for Ostara, for Beltane, for Midsummer, and so on and so forth. And my favorite ritual of all, of course, is Samhain. And here's that ritual. Now, as we go a little bit further, we have some invocations and some other things that we can utilize. Going back to different ways of raising your vibration, lowering your vibration, good vibes rituals, manifesting your best life. I do have quite a bit of spells in here, some that I add after the fact, as you can see by those forms. This is one of my favorite ones. I do this every full moon, my jewelry binding spell for all of my jewelry. To make them my own and to keep their intent and my intent unified. Now, I do have powder mixtures that I do as well. So this one's actually a wishing powder, but I got a Speak Now powder, which works amazingly well. I got Lucky Shoe powder, psychic powder, I should say. And then I get more into scrying, different forms of scrying. What I found utilizing crystal scrying myself. And remember I talked about my pendulum at the beginning? That's why this little guy is inside this page, because I can then utilize it to do my divination with my pendulum. So we are getting to the end of what I have done so far. These next two are really things that I love. We have Abracadabra, which is I will create when I speak, and Avada Kedavra, which is I will destroy as I speak. And I keep these two in mind every day because words have power. I can use words to create, or I can use words to destroy a thing. And this is one of my favorite pages that I've worked on. It's the alchemical symbols. And each one of the symbols, and I do utilize that when I'm doing spell work and for a lot of other reasons. So certainly this is one of my go-to pages. So that's the end of my tour of my grimoire. I do hope you enjoyed it. I really, really do. Let me know in the comments what you think, and let me know in the comments any information that you might want to share about your grimoire and your experiences with your grimoire. Now, as I was saying at the beginning of the video, it's important that you make your grimoire your best friend. This is your magical ally. I do carry him around with me many places that I go. Not everywhere, but many places that I go. Every full moon, I put him back out in the moon to recharge. But I do also sleep with him because I think it's important to continue a bond with your grimoire. So there's many times throughout the week that I'll actually have the grimoire in bed with me and let him sleep there with me. And again, sharing that energy. This book has all of my energy in it, mostly because of all of the handwriting that I've done myself, but along with that, the blood, sweat, and tears that's always behind every creation. So it's important for you to understand, don't get discouraged by your grimoire. Make it your own. Infuse it with your energy, with your magic, and it's going to do the same for you. If you're having one of those days where things just aren't going exactly the way you want and you're a little bit disenchanted, go back through your book. Grab yourself some tea. Just sit down with a comfortable old friend and recharge, reground, and utilize the magic within to help you in whatever circumstance you might be going through that particular time in your life. All your magical tools, this is the most intimate because this contains a lot of the practice that we have. Not to mention all the energy we've put into handwriting into the book. So no matter what kind of book you have, whether it be a 3-ring binder, whether it be a book like this, whether it be a more ornate type of book with locks on it, or whether it be just a ledger book, and understand it's infused with your magic, it's infused with your energy, it's your ally, it's your best friend, and so treat it as such. And don't be shy. Don't be shy and keep them on a shelf because you're just afraid of making mistakes. Like I said earlier, everything in life is perfectly imperfect. Why can't your book be that same way? We're not perfect, and we strive towards it, but we make our own mistakes, and we have mistakes written all over our body. They're called scars. So any little mistakes that you may have made in your book, let it be. That's part of that book's history. That's part of your energy in your history as well. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Please be sure to like, subscribe, leave that comment, and check out these other videos below. Actually, check out this video on the left-hand side for more helpful hints going back into the Grimoire. Talk to you soon, and until next video, be safe, be well, and as always, be blessed.